So I want to welcome you all to our live clarity and focus session, which is happening daily at the moment at the same time, same back channel that we are on, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 a.m. City Time, wherever you are in the world. For those who have been joining me every day, I want to welcome you here. So essentially what I've been doing is trying to help you get focused, get clear in this time of craziness to help you convert deals. And we've got a lot of people here that have been closing deals even whilst we're going through lockdowns and isolations going on right now. And even my consulting champions are very much closing deals. In fact, one of my consulting champions just nailed a $100,000, $120,000 deal with an aerospace company. Would you believe it? People are generating clients. I've been talking to some amazing people. We had one of our people we spoke to that brought on over 100 campaigns in the last 30 days. So even in lockdown right now, there are agencies all over the world generating clients, closing deals, helping those customers to generate sales. And let me tell you, there's a lot of interest in what we do in the world. There is a ton of interest in what we do in the world. So today, I'm going to talk about selling, and perhaps selling in a more pragmatic and a different way that perhaps you've been experiencing before, because it is a topic that creates a lot of angst for a lot of people. And so what I want to do here is to be able to reframe that for you and to just work. There's two pieces. If you get these two pieces right, then every presentation you do will help a client move forward to either engaging you or taking the next step with what you do. So these two things that I'm going to share today are probably critical. A lot of people, they mention them, but they don't share the importance of these two aspects in selling. Really are, even just from a point of view of being able to convert or close a deal. And if you get these two things right, if you get these two angles right, then 80 to 90% of the time you are going to win the deal. Like if you get these two things that I'm about to share with you, if you get it right, I'll guarantee you that 80 to 90% of the time you are going to get a favorable outcome, which is ultimately what we want to do in sales. So the other thing, just to give you perspective, when I finish what I'm talking about, I'm going to be asking you questions. I want this to be interactive. If you are not going to engage and interact with me, then I would kindly like you to leave now. There's no point in being on this training if you are not engaging, because at the end of the day, for you to immerse and absorb and take this in and apply, you need to engage. And if you are choosing not to, if you want to sit here passively listening to this, I would highly recommend that you're just wasting your time, and you might as well go and enjoy your Sunday or your Saturday, wherever you are in the world, with your family, because that would be better spent doing that than spending time with me listening and not really implementing what I've got share. So I just want to be super clear. So just so I know that you are with me with the interaction stuff, if you can just type 1 in your keyboard now in the chat, just so I know that you are alive and well, so that we know. Awesome, great, thank you very much, I really appreciate it. So like I said, I'm here to answer questions. I'm here to give you strategy. I'm here to help you to move forward in your business in terms of what to do. Some of the things I will share are things that I talk to my champions with every single day. These are things that basically keep you on track, keep you focused. More importantly, the idea is that you're helping as many people as possible gain benefit from what you do. We are in the world of communicating, or allowing people to communicate on mass scale, on a leverage scale, right? We are in a world where we help businesses with products or services that are valued by their markets. So we are in the game, in the digital space of marketing and sales. We are in the game of helping people continue to bring value and, more importantly, commerce in the world as well. So I'm going to share my screen in just a moment. In fact, I'm going to take these glasses off. That's better. Okay. So it's really funny. Have you ever heard somebody say something, oh, I can see much better without them? Let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen, share what I've been cooking in the kitchen. You don't need to see the Zoom screen, but here we go. All right, so going to hit that. Going to make sure that we have the chats open so I can see you here as we're interacting on this, and I'm just going to put myself over there just so I'm out of the way. So selling and helping prospects buy, that's what today's session is all about. And so let's get into it. Making sales is in your head. Number one, how we make sales is all about what we think about, how we think about what we do before we are actually making the sale, before we even get there, right, in the process. Understand that mindset plays a huge part of making the sales. You've got to be really clear in your mind about a number of things before you get there, because otherwise, if you don't, if you take a sloppy approach to what's in your head, then you can't expect to win in this game. And the one thing that I want to make, and this point here that I'm making with the whole making sales is in your head idea, is that most of us are just, if you have discomfort in selling, if you're uncomfortable, if you find that you get a little bit anxious when you go to sell or present, let's be honest and let's be vulnerable here. Just type in 2. If you ever feel a little bit anxious, a little bit, apprehensive in selling, just type 2. Just type 2 on the screen here. If you find yourself feeling a little anxious, a little bit apprehensive, that's okay. Let's be honest. Yeah. Okay, a few people, awesome, that's great. Yeah, this is the thing. If we find ourselves, and so here's the thing: if making sales is in our head, and we find ourselves being anxious, and by the way, I still get anxious today. I've been an entrepreneur in my own business for more than 30 years. I still get anxious in sales presentations. I still get jittery, nervous, excited in my sales process, right? Because especially if it's something that I really want to make sure that this person is going to gain the value and the benefit. And sometimes I want to not let things to cloud my judgment before I get into a sales presentation. So, and I have done this many times where I have prejudged the people that I've been selling to, and all of a sudden they've just surprised me and they bought, right? Has anybody ever been in a situation, right? Before, so Michael said before a presentation, but not during a presentation. Yep. Is there ever been a situation when you've been in a sales situation and you weren't sure, or you kind of felt maybe these guys aren't really interested or they're not going to buy, and all of a sudden they go, yep, great. So what are we going to do to get this thing started? And they buy from you. Or they surprise you. All of a sudden they find this magical budget from the middle of nowhere, because you think, well, there's no way they can afford this. You've had all these thoughts processes, and inadvertently they've turned around and go, yep, we'd like to do this. I have been double crossed by people and surprised by people that I felt that were going to say no, that they've turned around and said yes in the presentation. Right. So in my judgment, in my thinking, I'm thinking these people aren't going to buy. Right. There's going to be price. I need to think about it. They're going to delay. Like, I'm in my head. That's where I'm at. And they're sitting there going, great. What are we going to do to get this thing started? How do we give you money, John? And I've been completely surprised, right? Even in the middle of a sales presentation where I'm thinking, I'm just going through the motions, and in the middle of the sales presentation, say, listen, we love this, we know this, we want to do this, please help us do this. Like, literally stop me in the middle of the presentation, me thinking, hey, these guys aren't going to buy, and they've gone, hey, look, we're sold, we're already there, let's go, right? So Lex said he's been there, right? Sometimes you're going to find yourself in a situation where you are going to be surprised by the people that say yes. If I look somewhat like Daniela, one of my consulting champions, was having a really tough time a couple of weeks ago, and I had this conversation. I said, look, you have nothing to lose going into this conversation. Right, you have nothing to lose by presenting what you have. If we prejudge what they can and what they can't afford before we get there, then we've made the decision for them before we even got there. So let's not do that. Let's not make the decision for them before they get there, that they might not, the possibility of them not taking on our pricing or our offer. Let's just focus on how we help them get what they want. Let's just focus on that bit and nothing else, right? And so she asked a lot of questions. She listened, and then she fed that back and said, look, at the end of the day, the most important thing you're telling me is this thing. So my question to you is, what plan do you have in place right now to address that situation? Because right now you're panicking, you know that it's important, you've got to get it done, and you're panicking. And she's gone, and they've gone, yeah, we've got to get this done. So great. So, right now, you've probably not even allocated a budget towards this. Would that be fair? Yes, but you need to do this. By hook or by crook, you need to do this. So let me tell you, if we can partner together, if I can work with you, If you can help me at this level of investment, we normally charge this level of investment, but what I'll do is I'll kick in with you because I know this is important, because what I'm doing here is I want to make sure this is only one piece in the puzzle that we're working on. And so what we want to do is we want to make sure that we put all those pieces into place. But if this thing is going to make the direct, fastest impact, then let's work on the things that will make an impact now. So it's okay, can we partner? Can we work together? And they looked at her with a sigh of relief and just went, absolutely. And she signed the deal on the spot, got the payment made on the spot from that company, right? Now, they committed to a $48,000 project, just by taking the air out of this whole thing of will they, won't they buy, just taking this focus of helping. And the one reframe that I want to help you, that I want to sort of help you to understand is when you're selling to people, you're helping them, right? Selling is helping, helping is selling. I had a friend of mine, some people might know the name Robert Herjavec. He's one of the sharks on Shark Tank. He owns a company called the Herjavec Group. He's sold billion-dollar companies. His current company is going ballistic in this current time. They're at, I think, about $300 million in revenue. and I had the opportunity where we, for some reason, ended up on the same speaking series of conferences. We just kept on meeting each other at every conference, and so meeting each other, we got to know each other and spend some time. And I asked him a question. I said, if you were to think of one thing that if you were to say something to a business owner that will have the greatest impact on where they're at as a business and where they stand in the future in business, the most important thing for you in your mind, right? And he basically said this. He said, John, in bad times, sales above all else, and in good times, sales above all else. And I thought about that idea, because at the end of the day, what he was saying is obviously the lifeblood of your business is to share what you do and how you help your clients get results from what you deliver to the marketplace. But I thought about this from another perspective, right? It should be right now in this time of uncertainty, it should be in bad times, help above all else, right? Help people with what you have to offer above all else. And in bad times or in good times, help people above all else with what you have. Selling is helping. You're helping people. You're doing, because if you don't believe what you have to offer will help somebody, then you haven't bought your product or service. I'll talk about that in a second. If you don't believe what you have to offer is of value, right, then nobody's going to buy that because you didn't buy it. You're the first person that has to buy what you sell in the marketplace. Because if you don't buy it, you are going to sabotage the opportunity for anybody to invest, because they're going to see that you doubt what you deliver to the market. You doubt yourself, you doubt your value, you doubt what it is that you're doing. All of that is going to be translated through how you feel, right? And how you do. So making sales is in your head. And so in making sales, the sales is made, right, in your mind before you even get to the sale. You've made the sale in your head before you got to the sale, right? So let me explain what that means, right? Before we show up, we choose win or doubt. That's what we do before a sales scenario. Now, let's look at the different sales scenarios for a second. A sales scenario is taking person to the next logical step in your sales process. So the very beginning of our sales scenario is we need to provide something or provide some sort of value offering that they have an interest in. They've got to be interested to talk to you. So you've got to put something up there and say, hey, is this worthwhile having a chat about? Is this something that might be of interest? Is this something that might be useful? We know that it's useful to other people like you. We know other people have succeeded in applying or using or buying this. Is this something worthwhile for you to take a look at? For you? That's the first sale you've got to make, is your offer. And today, our offer is not, we want to bring you more leads, right? That's the worst offer, because that's an aspirational, or that's a thing that is more at the self-esteem and aspirational, right? It's more about right now, businesses need cash flow. And so how are they going to get that cash flow? Like, what is their strategy to do that, right? But before we show up, we choose whether we're going to win or lose the sale. We choose that in our presence, in our mind, and how we approach this, right? We get to choose, yeah? And so one of the things that I want to share with you today is, if you get what I'm sharing with you in the early part of this, right, that you want to make sure you maximize the opportunity to help people with what you have to offer that is going to benefit them, that gives them an outcome. So you need to understand the definition of that to your clients, right? Okay, so Anna's typing away here. Thank you. All right, so before we choose. So in our mind chatter, right? And I've done this, and if you've done this, I want you to type a 1 if this has happened to you. In our mind chatter, right? I've gone, this is a great prospect. This is going to be awesome. They fit all the criteria. They qualify. This is going to be a great opportunity. And I go in with that. It's going to be a great presentation. And then in my mind, this might not be a great prospect. This doesn't look right. There's some missing pieces here. I'm a little bit uncertain of maybe if we were a fit, right? I have this mind chatter. Now I have done this. In fact, I did this the other day. I found it creeping in and I stopped it before I went in there. I stopped it before I did the sale because I looked at the person I was talking to and I thought, no, I don't think they can afford it, right? I really don't. Where they're at right now, what they're telling me in the information that I've gathered is they're kind of telling me they're desperate and they're just going to waste my time, right? I came into a presentation thinking like that. Even today, I've more than 30 years experience. I know I look very young. I know I look like I'm in my 30s, but 30 years of sales experience. Even today, I come up with bullshit in my mind about judgments of the prospect, right? Doesn't happen often, but every now and again, I get the bullshit happening in my head, right? So if we go in with, this is a great prospect, we're going to do a great presentation. If we go in with, this might not be a great prospect, right? Then our presentation isn't necessarily going to be helpful to them and to ourselves to helping those people buy, right? So these are the little chattery things that we've got to be mindful of. I'm going to show you how to get rid of the chatter in just a moment, okay? So you set the tone. You set the tone for the outcome of the sale. You set the tone for your attitude. You set the tone for your enthusiasm, and you set the tone for your beliefs in this market. Nobody else gets to choose these things. Your prospect doesn't get to choose this. Your current clients don't get to choose this. You are the only person that actually gets to choose the outcome of the sale, because before going in, you know what outcome you're working to, right? Your attitude, how you feel, the presence, the tone that you have, the excitement or enthusiasm, you get to choose that, right? You get to choose that, yeah? And you get to choose your beliefs. You get to choose your beliefs about your product, about who you are, about what you deliver, what your business is all about, how your customer is going to benefit from what you do. You choose, you set the tone for this. Nobody else chooses this. And so you need to work on a framework in what you're doing. So one of the things that I recommend people is that you should always walk into a sales conversation with certainty that you're going to make the sale. Every presentation, every phone call, everything that you do, if you look at the logic, so for example, we're making an offer to get some interest first. Once we got the interest, the next step is we need to go to discovery. We need to ask some questions, see if they're a fit, and say, hey, well, the next step in the process is obviously to provide you with something that's going to give you the structure, the plan, the outcome that you're looking for. So we take them to the next step, right, of the sale, right? From there, we're going to ask our questions, get our feedback, do our presentation, or prepare our sales presentation, and then walk them through a sales presentation, right? You need to feel you should be walking in, right, with certainty that you're going to make the sale every time. Every time I walk into a sales conversation, if that is the reason why I'm there, and they know that's the reason why they're there, then somebody's going to pull out a credit card, and it isn't going to be me. Right? If I have to pull the credit card out, I failed the person I'm sitting in front of because of the conviction that I have in how I help in the marketplace. If I'm the one, so what I mean by pulling out the credit card, that they didn't buy, I bought my product back, right? They decided not to go forward. That means I bought my shit back. It cost me however many thousands of dollars, right, in that process. Right? Understand that you have to walk in with certainty. Number two, the customer needs you. So here's the thing. One of the things that I've come to understand, and this is just an attitude thing, right? If somebody, I'm going to put you in this spot. In fact, where are you? Where's my friend? Kristen, bienvenue. Where are you, Kristen? Do you have a microphone? Just type yes if you have a microphone. Do you mind if we have a bit of a chit chat? Do you want to have a bit of a chit chat, Kristen, if you hear me? I'm just going to unmute your microphone if you have a microphone, Kristen. Just type in the chat. You might be passively listening. Kristen, are you listening to me? Can you just type in yes, I'm listening to you? No, okay, Kristen's obviously passively. Oh, you are, okay, good. So let me, I'm going to allow you to talk. You there, Kristen? Can you hear me? Kristen, I've just unmuted your microphone. I'm just going to mute you again. You there, Kristen? I'm going to unmute you again. It's not letting me unmute. I'm going to try and unmute you. For some reason. All right, Kristen, I'll call back on you a little bit later. I apologize, but for some reason, it's not allowing me to unmute your microphone for some reason. So Kristen here made a sale the other day with a client for the services that her business provides to the marketplace, right? And so one of the things is that the client needed, the accounting firm needed Kristen's help, right? The accounting firm needed Kristen's help into the marketplace. So Kristen, got no mic, so thank you. That's why I can't unmute you. My apologies, Kristen. So the client needed Kristen's help, right? And so the client took the time to make a time with Kristen to provide Facebook and ad services for their accounting practice. In that moment, Kristen helped that client go through a presentation and help that client to realize that, hey, this is what we need to do. Here's the investment. Let's go ahead and let's make this happen. And they bought, right? Anybody who makes an appointment with you to look at solving a problem wants to buy. They want to solve that problem. The attitude that you want in your head is that they want to buy from you right now, right? That's the attitude that you want to put out there in the marketplace. If you don't believe that they don't want to buy from you, or they're not in the market to buy, then there's no point in having that conversation, right? So one of the things I tell people is at the end of this presentation, I'm going to ask you to commit to actioning on the plan that we've put together moving forward, making sure that plan fits where you're at with what you need to do, making sure that what we've put together is focused on the objective and the outcome you're looking for, and making sure that we're eliminating those roadblocks so you can bridge the gap to get that outcome. So at the end of this presentation, I want to help you on how we can work together. Is that okay with you? And they go, yes. Because what I'm asking you to do is to make a decision at the end of this. You've shown up, you've asked me for help, I'm going to help you. And at the end of that, it would be a crime if you see that this is what you need to do, that you walk away. So we're going to work together, right, to make that a reality. That's the attitude you want to go. Every single person that you make a sales appointment with is a buyer. Is somebody that wants to buy. Otherwise there's no point, and there's no way that they're going to waste an hour or a half an hour or 45 minutes of their time sitting there listening to a whole bunch of stuff that they're not going to take any action on or not take any consideration to. Every customer needs you. The customer needs you, right? Next, that you are the best at what you do and what you deliver, and that you're the best at the value that you provide. You have to believe that in yourself. You're the best business, the best provider, right? The best solution and the best value that you're delivering to that customer. You're not the cheapest price, because if somebody's buying you based on your price, you don't want those customers. Those customers are very hard to work with. What you want to do is you deliver great value for service. If your unique selling proposition is based around pricing structures and you work on volume, that's your strategy, that's okay. But understand that you deliver the best value possible at that price point, right? If you don't believe that, it's not going to happen. This is the thing that has to happen before you come to a sale. And so this is why this is really, really important, right? You should always be certain that you're going to make a sale. That's what you're there to do. The second thing is the customer needs you. The client you're sitting down in front of that has taken their time out to listen to what you have to offer actually needs you. You know that they need you. You know that they're going to get benefit from what they do, right? The idea is to help them to make that decision, yeah? And the third thing is that you in your mind's eye, in your own thinking, that you're the best at what you do, right? You're the best at what you deliver, and that you're the best at the value that you provide to your client. That's what you need to do right out front of the gate. If you have that sense of feeling, right, before you get there, you're going to put yourself 75%, 80% of the time, you're going to help that client spend money with you. But if you don't do these things, then you're going to make it very difficult for a customer to trust you, to like you, and to want to buy what you have to offer. You have to feel, you have to come with this conviction in yourself, not what the client sees. This is what you see in yourself. If you don't see these things in yourself, then how can you possibly ask anybody to buy anything from you? Just type in 1 if that makes sense to you. Just type in 1 if this makes sense to you in the keyboard. Awesome. Just so I know that you're still alive out there in the world. Okay. Right. So let's get to the next one. Before going in, these are the things you need to do before going in, right? Before going in, you need to mentally prepare, right? Your attitude. You got to smile. You got to know that you want to help your prospect with the service or the product you deliver, right? Before you go in there, mentally prepare your attitude, smile, lift. When I like to talk to people face to face. I like to see people face to face. And so that's why I do lots of Zoom calls. I don't have to be in their office, but I want to see their eyes, right? Because if I can see their eyes and they can see my eyes, right, then we're connecting with each other. If I can't see your eyes and I'm on a phone, then I'm connecting with your voice. So my voice, the projection of my voice, the enthusiasm, the excitement, the wanting to be here, right, is going to be conveyed in that phone call, right? But I prefer to do Zoom with people so that I can actually see their eyes, right? If I can see your eyes, I'm connecting with you, right? If you can see my smile, I'm going to lift your energy up in this conversation. Number 1, before going in, mentally prepare your attitude, your smile, know that you want to help the prospect with the service or the product you deliver, right? Number 2, prepare your presentation, do your homework on the client. So many people who go in and do presentations, by the way, if you wing your presentations, if you don't have a structured sales process to take people through, if you don't present, if you're not presenting with slides, if you're just having conversation, asking questions, and you're going away having to put a proposal together and send a proposal, just type 2. Who are the proposal senders here? I'm going to put a proposal together and I'll send it to you. Just type 2. The proposal senders. Who are the proposal senders? 2, Adam, okay, cool. Right, who sends proposals? Ed sends proposals, yep. Here's the thing, my consulting champions don't do proposals. They win the deals on the call. Remember, there's this show I mentioned before, remember the Shark Tank show, right? Think about what's happening. We are in a world where we need to make, I think it's Jan, says proposals suck. Not anymore. Lamar doesn't do proposals anymore. I present proposals live and get signatures. Yes, Howard, absolutely. Always on the call. Yes, Michael, right? So here's the thing. This is what happens with a proposal, right? You spend the time, ask all the questions, go away, put a proposal together, spend hours doing that. Put the pricing at the end, send the proposal. Now, if you don't present the proposal to the person, then what's going to happen is they're going to read the proposal, but the first page they go to is the last page. How much is this thing going to cost us? So the very thing, they're looking at the cost rather than what you're delivering for the service. And so then they're going to compare they're going to compare apples with apples. Who can I get or who can I find to be cheaper than you? That's what they're going to do, right? So if somebody's just interested in the price, they're actually not interested in hiring you. They actually, whatever you've offered, they actually really aren't interested in. If somebody keeps asking you, what's the price, what's the price, what's the price? I'll say, great, you're obviously interested in working with us. So let's talk about the project that you want us to work with. Let's start asking questions about that, right? Because before we give any price, we need to understand 2 things, where you're at right now and where you want to be. And so when we're putting that together, we want to make sure that we're very clear about the things that are very important to you right now. That makes sense, doesn't it? Yes. So in doing that, I just want to know, let's identify what's important and what must happen for you moving forward, right? Now, they might not have thought about it. So, oh, I haven't even thought about it. So, okay, what areas do you need help with right now? Do you need help with acquiring customers? Do you need help with getting existing customers to buy? Do you need help with conversions? Where do you need help? What's important to you right now? Oh, we need help with our conversions. Okay, great. What's happening? Let us know what's going on, right? So right now, there's 2 sides of that coin, the quality of the lead that you generate and your sales process, right? How you manage the lead. So if we looked at ways of improving the quality of the prospect that you generate and looked at ways that you maximize your opportunity to engage and convert those leads, then that's going to solve a big problem for you, yes? And they're going to go, yes, great. So let me talk about that. Let's talk about what's not happening right now and what you'd actually ideally like to happen. So before I even give you any pricing and before we even go any further, is that something that's worthwhile us focusing in on, that is relevant and important moving forward for your business so you can actually achieve the outcomes you want in your business? Yes or no? And they're going to go, yes. Well, great. Here is our process to help you. So now it doesn't become about the price. It becomes about the exact impact or direct problem that needs to be held. I'm recording this, by the way, and that script happened at the 34-minute mark of this conversation. So just type in 32 minutes. So you can just go, and there's the sales script right there of how to get somebody from price to, hey, we want to do something, right in that moment, right? So prepare your presentation, do your homework before you come. Know your stuff, be prepared, right? The old proper planning will avoid piss poor performance, right? But poor planning will always get you piss poor performance, the 5 Ps, yeah? So understand you need prepare, right? Number 2, get thoroughly ready for your call, right? How are you going to open the call? How are you going to engage the client immediately? You want to set the tone for your presentation. So some of the things that I do, if I know I really want to make the sale, sometimes I listen to motivational talks. I listen to stuff on YouTube. I'm just listening to people who are inspirational messages. That's one way. Or I'll read something inspirational. I'll look at people that I admire in the world. I look at great leaders, great orators, and I'll just read something for 10, 15 minutes before I get into a call. So I'm going to listen to something or read something. You set the tone for the presentation. So this is the thing, right? You want to embrace your clients in your mind's eye. So I did this exercise yesterday. For those of you been who were with me yesterday, I did this exercise before I go into any sales call. I just sit there for a moment, calmly breathe, right? And think of the client in my mind's eye and know that if that person was a friend, a close friend or a family member, know that I want to do everything humanly possible to help that person as if they're a friend or a family member. So in this conversation, when I'm going in, I want to treat this conversation as if I really like you and I really want to help you. And if I do that in my mind's eye, that's going to set the tone or set the presentation going in. If I can embrace the person in my mind's eye to say, hey, I got you, I like you, I want to help you, right? If I do that before I go in, right? This one thing, right, will make a huge difference to how you communicate with your client, right? James says, who inspires me? There are quite a few people that are inspirational in my life, but, guys like, God, there's so many names now. Nelson Mandela is always one. His inauguration speech was probably one of the most resounding speeches I've ever heard. Friends inspire me. A dear friend of mine, Rob Nixon, inspires me. He's going from straight. Although he's isolating and doing all that sort of stuff, his business is a very remote type business. His industry is in a lot of stress at the moment, but he's forging ahead and growing. The people that I work with inspire me. My clients inspire me. Those sorts of people. If I think the people who are doing amazingly well and why they're doing well, those are the sorts of things that are inspiring to me. Todd Herman, who's a dear friend of mine, he's inspiration. He's just gone through. He and his wife and his kids all had the virus and had to go through this in New York in lockdown in one of the worst cities in the world. So there are many people that inspire me. My coaches inspire me. My mentors inspire me. So hopefully that answers your question. It doesn't have to be a person of note, although there are many of those that I am grateful to. But a lot of people that are around me are inspiring me. Those sorts of things. His inaugural, Nelson Mandela's inaugural speech when he took on the presidency in South Africa. That speech. You can just look it up on YouTube. It's really, it is a great speech. Before my calls, so I'm a little bit old school. There's a guy called Tom Hopkins that I love listening to. He's a sales mentor of mine. I did a lot of sales training programs with him personally. So he's really cool. There's a guy called Joe Girard. Joe Girard is noted for being one of the greatest people ever. He is a World Guinness record holder of selling the most cars in 1 year, belly to belly. So not fleet, but individual sales. He's sold something like 1,600 cars, over 1,600 cars personally in 1 year, and he was he was an extraordinary sales guy, and there's some great talks, great interviews where he's just such a the confidence and the calm, like confidence and calm at the same time, and the resounding belief in the fact that he's there to help people to move into the car that they love to drive, type of thing, is incredible. So those sorts of things I do listen to. There's a few things on YouTube. You can look up YouTube inspirational talks and those sorts of things. There's some great talks. One of my favorite talks is a guy called Eric Thomas. He is the hip hop preacher. If you look up Eric Thomas on YouTube and look for, if you look at the talk that has got the most views, I don't know what the title, I can't remember the title of the talk, but he talks about, somebody wanting success and how willing and how important, and, will they do everything humanly possible to be successful. That is a great talk. It's about 15 minutes long. He shares that with high school students, and he's talking about this concept of how badly do you want it. And it's really funny thinking about that conversation. There's a conversation I have with a friend and business partner, Carl. We often have this really weird, every time we get together every 3 or 4 months, this conversation for us seems to come up just in general conversation, this idea of how badly people want it, right? Most people don't want it badly enough. Like most people, if you really want it badly for yourself, if you really want to have the things that you want to have the experiences that you want to have, create the things that you want to create. If you really, really want them, right? Wayne Dwyer, one of my mentors, had this saying, what do you really, really, really want? That's 4 reallys, right? Not 1 really, but 4, right? Be really clear about what it is that you want, because you want to define that. You want to be certain that that's the thing that you want in your life. And so if I think about that conversation of how badly do you want it, most people don't want it bad enough. A lot of people I talk to, they can tell me until their face is blue. They want to build a great business, or they want to, help people. And I don't believe it. I don't believe them at all, because if that was true, they would be doing certain things to make that a reality, right? I don't believe, in general in life, I don't believe a lot of people do want things badly enough for themselves. If I look at the people that I surround myself with, the people that I talk to, my mentors that I invest many tens of thousands of dollars per month for their guidance, they're the ones doing things. They're the ones that are moving, right? They're the ones that are making things happen, right? They're the ones that are growing and expanding. If I look at the consulting champions that I'm working, they're growing and expanding. They're making adaptations. They're adjusting their presentations. They're adjusting their offers. They are out there constantly making those offers to the marketplace, drawing people in, generating clients, closing deals, because they want it. That's what they want to do, right? James here, I understand that sometimes we feel paralyzed. So I'll just have a look at James. So yes, paralysis by analysis and paralysis with overconsumption of information. Yeah. There's a famous TED talk, and I'd highly recommend you go and check this TED talk out. It's by Amy Cuddy. If you type in Amy Cuddy in TED, pick her best speech, she talks about presence. And she tells a story where she, by the way, Amy's personal story, she's a Harvard professor. Her personal story is just an incredible story, because when she was younger, she had was involved in a really serious accident that nearly took her life. But she forged ahead. She got into education. She got into Harvard. She's now a Harvard professor, and she talks about this moment that there was a student that came into her office at Harvard and said to Amy, "Look, Amy, I don't believe I belong here. I feel like I'm faking it here. I'm a fraud, And this student was a full scholarship student, right? They weren't, they didn't come from money. They in fact came from a very struggling family, right? And in that moment, Amy, her heart poured out to this student, saying that if there was anybody that deserves to be here, it's you, because you've worked, every part of your being has been towards getting yourself educated in one of the finest institutions in the world, one that is highly regarded, highly recognized with some of the best minds on the planet. You absolutely belong in this place. And in that moment, she caught herself in a breath, because she sat there and said, you fake it till you make it. And in that moment, it's the last 5 seconds of the video. She says, it's not fake it till you make it. You do it and you become it. You do the little things and you become it. There's a thing in the Japanese culture called kaizen, right? Little steps, little day by day. There's a few different philosophies, but little tiny steps. So if you want to, for example, if you want to get fit in kaizen, the way you would kaizen your fitness, right? And we can kaizen our sales, is that what you're going to do is you're going to get up at a certain time. So you have the alarm set and say, I'm going to get up and go and exercise, and you just wake up and then you go back to sleep. Right. The next day is I'm going to get up and I'm going to put my jogging clothes on, and then I'm going to take my jogging clothes off, and then I'm going to go to bed again. The next day I'm going to get up, get my jogging clothes, go downstairs, have a drink of water, right? Go to the front door, and then I'm going to go back to get bed again. And then each day you make these small incremental steps, and then next day you're just going to go for a walk. And from a walk, you're going to say, great, now I'm going to run to that tree. And then I'm going to run to the next tree, and I'm going to take a break, and then the next tree. And then before you know it, you're running a 5K or a half K or a full marathon, right? But Kaizen is little steps, little forward motion steps to getting the outcome. It's the same, right? Yeah, Michael says 1% better every day. It's something James Atcher says, 1%, one little thing every single day, right? Focused on your intent, right? You want it badly enough, you'll get it, right? If we are over-consuming information, what I generally do, because I used to consume information and read lots of stuff, what I do now is if I read a book, I highlight a certain section that I'm reading, and I stop myself for a moment and said, how am I going to apply that today? I need to do one of two things. I need to teach that to somebody. I'm going to share this with somebody today, or I'm going to take an action on this. I'm going to apply this, right? And then see what happens, and then write down my feedback. So each little thing that I learn, each little thing that I think, hey, that's a good idea, rather than writing it in my ideas book so that it gets buried. Like I'm a big Moleskine fan. I no longer carry Moleskine with me, but I have literally hundreds of them, right? In a year, like in any given month, in any 30-day period, I'd probably go through about 10 Moleskines from cover to cover, just writing notes and ideas and blah, blah, blah. And there are Moleskines from years that I haven't even looked at, never even looked at. I can only imagine the great ideas that I've written down over the last 10 years in those Moleskines. But I've still got them stacked up. They literally take up a bookshelf. They're just stacked, dates and all that sort of stuff, right? And I haven't even looked at them. So I learned a while ago, I stopped doing that, right? What I started doing was, if I learned something or if I had an idea, I need to action the idea. So whatever it was, I would write it down, action it, and then I would go back. And I couldn't write anything more until the next line was, what was my feedback? What happened? And so since I started doing that, I've done a lot more crazy actions. I've done a lot of scary things that I was scared of doing or was unsure of or didn't know how to do. So I focused on the things that were important, and great, let's put the actions towards those things that are important, right? So before going in, getting back to that, before going in, BJ Fogg, yep, that's another guy, yeah. So before going into your sale, these are the things you need to prepare before going in. Know that you're going to help somebody, right, to do this. So next one, action, right? I want you, this is the action that I would highly encourage all of you to do, right, when you are getting into your sales. This is what I encourage you to do, right? Before you get on the call, you write down your positive expectations in the presentation. Write down what you expect to happen in your sales presentation before every call. You've got to do, if you did this on your next, this is coming from one of my mentors that did this, right? Before, and I need to spell before correctly, spelling mistake, my apologies. So before you get on a call, write down your positive expectations in the presentation, right? That's number one, right? Number two is, when you've delivered your presentation, write down how you can improve the presentation. So write down what happened and how you can improve the next time. You could do that every time. Do that for the next 100 presentations, right? This is Jeffrey Gitmore. who wrote a great book called the Little Red Book of Selling. Highly recommend that you get your hands on the Little Red Book of Selling, right? But if you look at, if you're, two things, right? This is simple action, right? Before you go to call, write down your expectation of what you're going to do in the presentation. And when you finish the presentation, write down how you went, what you would change, how you would improve. If you did that on the next 100 presentations that you do, I'll guarantee you're going to become an outstanding salesperson, right? That's key, right? That's key. Now, any questions here? Any questions or any insights? Basically, share or if you can share something you've taken away from what I've talked about so far. Because the next bit's probably the most important bit. Just type in the section here. I'm just going to improve my spelling right there. So, I'm a moleskin and no more. Yeah, take action. Take the idea and run with it. Treat everyone like a millionaire. Yeah. Treat everybody that they're nice, that they're great, that they're good people. Yeah. Do it and become it. Absolutely, Chris. Do it and become it. Yeah. If you do it, you'll become it. It's not fake it till you make it. Fake is fake. I hate that word, fake it till you make it. I think it's horseshit. Whoever coined that phrase, I personally believe that's bullshit. I understand the intent of faking it till you make it. It's almost like it's an aspirational, experiential type thing, right? If you want to go and drive a Ferrari, you don't have to buy a Ferrari to drive a Ferrari. You can rent a Ferrari, or you can find a friend who made a Ferrari and say, hey, can I come drive your Ferrari? And you've experienced what it's like to drive a Ferrari, right? I wanted to, a friend of mine said to me once, he says, once you hop in a Porsche, John, you'll never buy another car again, right? And I didn't believe him. So what I do, I went and hopped in a Porsche, and then I ended up buying a Porsche. And then I never wanted to buy another car again because they were amazing, right? Because I'm a driver, I like to drive, and Porsches create the driving experience, right? I never want to drive anything else. I've never driven anything else that is as exhilarating as driving a Porsche. I have driven some pretty cool cars, right? But if you aspire to something, you can experience it. You don't have to fake it, right? You can experience it. And what we are in the world is we are a collection of experiences that we're trying to make through in this world, right? So at the end of the day, you do it and you'll become it, not fake it till you make it, right? You can't fake running. It's impossible to fake running. You're either running or you're not running, right? It is impossible to fake exercise. You are either exercising or you're not exercising, right? You are doing it or you're not doing it. There is no fake. There is no fake. Be better than you were the day before. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So let's get into what I believe is probably the most important thing that is going to make a huge difference towards your sales. Because if you get this piece right, and this happens before the whole sales process, right? This happens knowing where you are. But if you get this piece right, then it will be a game changer for you and your business in how you do this, right? Because most people don't think about this. But if you do, and I'm going to ask you to take action on this one idea. And tomorrow, when I hop on this call, I'd love to get some feedback on the idea, right? So the idea is your beliefs, right? What you believe, okay? So what do I believe in my business? I want you to write this question down, right? Get a blank sheet of paper. I don't need you to answer this question right now, right? But I need you to write, I need you to do this homework, right? Why do I believe in my business, right? Why do I believe in my business? Somebody's chatting there, yeah? Why do I believe in my business, right? Because if you don't believe in your business, then your business is shit. You're not in business, right? But if you don't believe in what you do, what your business is all about, then it's going to be really hard to do business, right? The next question is, why do I believe my product or service? Why do I believe that my product or service will help clients? Why do I believe? Remember that the I is you. Why do you believe in your product or service? So why? Ask the question, why do I believe in my product or service, right? Number 2, that's the next question you need to write down. Number 3, why do I believe in myself? Why do I believe that I deserve this? Why do I believe that I'm the best person for this? Why do I believe that I really want to do this, right? Why? Why do I believe in myself, right? Not what do I believe in myself, but why? The why? Why do I believe in my business? It's a great business. Why do I believe in my product or service? And why do I believe in myself, right? And the last one is, why do I believe my client is better off when they buy off me? Why do I believe my client is better off when they buy off me, right? If you can answer these 4 questions and you can own your answers, then this very thing is going to change the way you present what you do forevermore. Because if you believe in your business, that your business is great, right? And you know that you're going to do great. You've got a great business that's going to support your aspirations, your family, your lifestyle, your experiences, your financials, your spirituality, every aspect of your life, your well-being, your health, that you believe that this business is your vehicle, right? That supports your ideals, your aspirations, right? At the end of the day, your purpose from a business point of view, the purpose of your business is to get great results for your clients. That's the purpose of your business. It is the goal of your business to generate as much profit as possible from doing what your business does for its clients. So the purpose is to help people get the best possible results from doing business with you. And the goal of that business is to make as much profit and money as possible doing the thing that you believe your business is great for. That's number one, right? Why do I believe in my business? Why do I believe in my product or service? Why do I believe in myself? Why do I believe that my client is better off when they buy off me, not someone else, right? Because these questions, if you can answer these questions for yourself, and I don't care if this is a 1-pager or a 3-pager, it doesn't matter, right? However, whatever it takes, put it all out on paper in front of you. And then what I want you to do is I want you to read each of the answers to yourself, hear it in your voice. Why do I believe in my business? I want you to read that every day. This is why I believe in my business, right? This is why I believe in my product or service. This is why I believe in myself. This is why I believe in my client, that the clients that I work with are better off when they buy off me as opposed to going somewhere else. If you can have that as part of your framework, your daily framework, that's going to go to a long way to helping you close deals, right? 80% of the sales game is in your head. If you believe that you're helping people, then people want to be helped and they're going to buy off you. If you believe that you're providing something of value that's going to give them an outcome that they desire and is important to them, they are going to buy, right? These 4 questions are going to dramatically improve your sales. These 4 questions are going to dramatically improve the conversations you have with your prospective clients. These 4 questions are going to be solid in your mind that you can build something great, that you can do something great for yourself, not for anybody else, just for you, right? That's what this is about, right? Your beliefs. What do I believe, right? The best self you can make is being completely sold yourself. Yeah, the whole, people ask me, how do you do great in sales? Well, sell what you love. Sell what you believe in. Sell what you will buy for yourself. I say to people, I'm not going to call anybody out here, but think about this. If you're a Facebook ads person right now, if you are not running Facebook ads to generate clients for yourself, and you're selling Facebook ads and encouraging other people to spend money on Facebook ads, you are being incongruent with what you do. How can a client buy from you if you don't even advertise or trust yourself, right? Because our Facebook ad guys should have more freaking leads than anybody else, because you're Facebook people, you're Facebook lead generation people. You should have a shit ton of leads, more than anybody else. Same with AdWords people. You're AdWords people. You should have more fucking leads than anybody else in the marketplace, right? Like all our AdWords guys here and our Facebook people, you should not be crying for leads at all. They should be freaking breaking down your door every fucking day, because you're good at PPC and you're good at Facebook ads. But if you're not running Facebook ads for yourself and you sell Facebook, well, you're basically incongruent. You're full of shit, right? You're telling other people that Facebook ads is perfect for them, they're going to get clients, but you don't sell Facebook ads, you don't do Facebook ads yourself. How is that congruent? How is that real, right? If I'm teaching people how to advertise and I don't advertise myself, I'm being incongruent, inconsistent. I'm always running ads. I'm always running retargeting. I'm always doing stuff out there. I know that it works. That's why I do it, right? So be congruent with what you do. If you're an email marketer and you run re-engagement campaigns, Where's your reignition campaigns for all the leads that you write for, that you're trying to get? Where's your offer? Where's your campaign? Where's your follow-up system? If you're a lead management company, how do you do lead management? I love the LinkedIn people, the LinkedIn lead generators. That's how they get leads. They're congruent because they run LinkedIn engagement and LinkedIn outreach to generate their own leads. And then when the client comes on a call with them and they start doubting what they do, say, well, how the hell did you think you got here? The very thing that I'm doing to help myself, I'm going to be helping you do exactly the same thing and have this type of conversation. That's what you want, isn't it? You want to work with a person that's delivering what they say that they're delivering, right? So if you're running ads, or if you're right now, if you need to run some ads, I'll run some ads. It's really cheap to run ads. It's not very expensive at all. You know, I see people spend. There was somebody I was speaking to. In fact, this was a really big name in the internet marketing space. Yeah, he's a friend of mine, and I'm not going to name names. But he sits there and says, "Dude, I've been selling, you know, $5,000, $10,000, $100,000 programs, training programs that people will buy, 10, 100, you know, $50,000 in training, but they'll never go and spend a lousy $100 on ads. Even if Google gives you $100 for free to run ads, they won't take that $100 and run ads for themselves to go and get the very thing that they want. They'll consume and learn all the shit they need to learn, but they will never get out there in the marketplace. They'll never do what they say that they know that they should do. Every single person on this call that's here with me now, you know what you need to do. You know exactly what you need to do to go and generate sales. I don't need to tell you. You've probably listened to enough shit out there. You need to think about what you've learned and go and apply that right now. That's going to give you leads. That's going to give you sales. The conversations that I have with my champions are not teaching them how to sell, right? The conversation I have is, great, let's apply what works, right? Let's go through and why are some of my champions making the biggest sales that they've ever made in their business, increase their prices. We've had 4 champions this month in March have had the biggest revenue month in the history of their business ever. They're making more money in March than they've ever made in the history of their business over years, right? Through several, and a lot of that is changing the way they believe what they're doing, changing their approach, changing their pricing models, building that value proposition to maximize their opportunity to generate sales and convert clients. And lo and behold, they're in the process of doing that, they all of a sudden they wake up and they go, holy crap, look at that, I've just had the best month. I had one of my champions, Kylie. We were the second week of March. In the second week of March, she had already surpassed the previous month's revenue, and the previous month was a record month in her business. So in February, they had a record month of sales in their business, and in March, in the first 2 weeks, they did more revenue than they did in the entire month of February. So they broke the record again. And at the end of March, they had the biggest revenue month in the history of their business, right? And I sat there and said, Kylie, what are you doing differently than you were doing before? And she said, it's really simple, right? I'm just focusing on making sure that we are doing the very thing, and that is engaging prospective customers every single day. Since we've been engaging prospective customers every day, our sales have gone through the roof. Before, we weren't thinking about engaging prospective customers every day, and we weren't engaging them. We weren't doing anything to engage them every single day. But when we started focusing on that very one thing, guess what happened? The sales went through the roof. Because their conversations, having more and more conversations, trying more and more things, testing, tweaking, tinkering, right? All of a sudden, they're starting to get a flood of inquiries. They're getting more inquiries now in lockdown than they did before lockdown. They're getting more clients wanting Facebook advertising and email marketing services, right, now than they did before lockdown. Isn't that interesting, right? But again, where is your intention? What are you doing? So I'm here to answer your questions. A couple of people have gone into the question mode. So no, that's fine. So I'm here to answer your questions. If you've got any questions about what I've shared, if you want me to help you out here, if you've got a client or a prospect you want me to help you with, let me help you with that client or prospect. I'm here for you today. Just type in the chat. If you haven't already, go to Consulting Unleashed. .com/go. Oops, put that back there. If you haven't already, go to consultingunleashed.com/go. That will make sure that you get the training videos that I'm doing every single day in our YouTube channel, and join the Consulting Unleashed Facebook group. You'll get access to these videos. I'm recording every session and putting those recordings in those two areas. So if you haven't subscribed, when you subscribe to YouTube, go and turn on little bell notifications. It'll notify you when we've uploaded this video, so we can help you. And like I said, I'm trying to help you here. If you've got questions, so Trent, daylight savings changed in the southern parts of Australia. Your daylight savings time changed. So it was an hour earlier for you in Sydney or Melbourne, wherever you are in the world. So, oh, bugger. Okay. So any questions? If you'd like me to answer any questions, if you'd like me to share strategy, if you'd like me to talk about specific things that will help you personally right now, just ask me the questions. I'm here to coach you as much as I can. I really appreciate all you being here. I've got a whole bunch of people on here. So it's great. This is, I mean, some people here taking out this Sunday, so I really appreciate you taking out your Sunday to spend some time with me here. Lamar, good to see you here. Brian, Bruce, I don't know who Buff a Lost is, but whoever Buff a Lost is, Chris, good to see you. Chris Lacey, Dano, always good to see you. Ed, here every day. Adam, for cold outreach campaigns, based on my experience, what would you suggest? Cold call followed by email, or email followed by cold call? So Adam, it's a great question. I would do both, right? I'm not afraid to pick up the phone, right? My favorite book in the world on the cold stuff is Fanatical Prospecting by Jeb Blount, J-E-B-B-L-O-U-N-T. If you pick up that book on Kindle, he's got a fantastic cold calling script. We've actually adapted some of those cold calling scripts to some of our champions, and they've used them very successfully. My favorite cold calling script, in terms of, this is one that I've used, and I want to accredit the person that I learned this of, and I can't remember their name, but I can't remember where I came across this, but it was quite a few years back. My favorite cold calling script of reaching out to people, especially if I've emailed. So let's say I've sent you an email first, and then I'll pick up the phone and I'll call you. I'll say, hey, Adam, is this a good time right now? And you'll go, yep, great. So look, my name is John Logar. You don't know me from Bar Soap, but if you can give me 60 seconds, you can let me know whether or not we should continue this conversation. Is that fair enough? And you'll get a 100% yes rate if you use that script on a cold call, right? So you can say, hey, Adam, you don't know me from Bar Soap. I've sent you an email and I'm not sure if you got it. But if you can give me 60 seconds, you can let me know whether or not we should continue this conversation. Is that fair enough? And then they'll do it. It's not Jeff, it's Jeb, J-E-B, Jeb Blount, Jeb Blount. Let me just do the Jeb Blount bit. Jeb Blount. So it's Jeb Blount. Fanatical Prospecting. Fanatical Prospecting. Buy that book. Highly recommend it. Yeah. So, so for me, cold outreach first. I like the email first because I like to have an excuse to call. So as long as my email is relevant to the person, say, hey, look, I shot an email. I don't know if you've had the chance to read that. I just want to quickly introduce myself. If you can give me 60 seconds, you can let me know whether or not we should continue this conversation. Is that fair enough? Every single person will say yes to that script. Every single person will say yes. And then from there, you've got 60 seconds to let them know why you called and if you should take the next step. And remember, you are making little sales along the way, right? From your email to a conversation, to the next conversation, to a sales presentation, to a sale. Everything is a little step. You're working towards the next step. What most people try to do is they try to sell everything up front, right? They try to, you try to build rapport, you try to build indoctrination, you try to do the know, like, and trust. You're all trying to do that in one space. The problem is that we need to treat this like dating, right? You don't walk up to somebody and you don't go on a first date and you sit there and say, listen, no, you kind of look all right. Let's get married. Should we get married? Will you marry me? Right? And that person's going to look at you and go, excuse me while I go to the bathroom, and then they leave the restaurant, right? Because you can't get married on the first date. Everybody is so freaking impatient, right? We're trying to force the conversation. We don't want to force anything. We want to draw in. We want to bring in, right, that conversation, yeah? What do you want me to repeat, Bruce? I don't know what you want me to repeat. You want me to repeat the bringing the conversation or the dating bit? So the script again. By the way, I'm recording this, so you can come, come to the 1 hour and 7-minute mark of this recording, and you'll be able to get this script. Right? It's really simple. So I've sent some information. Generally, I send an email that's relevant, and I'll pick up the phone. I'll call a friend of mine. A guy called Stephen Daniels. He used to do. I taught him this. I taught him this ages ago, and he used to get lots and lots of sales appointments. And this is how he used to get them. I used to say, "Great. So, Stephen, you send an email. This is the email you send." So we crafted an email and they send an email. And then you pick up the phone and say, "Did you get the email?" Right? So, and the script to get past the gatekeeper was really simple. This is the easiest script to get past any gatekeeper, right? So the gatekeeper picks up the phone and let's say her name's Becky, right? So Becky, and so Becky says, "Hey, thanks for calling this ABC company. Hey, Becky, thanks. I really appreciate you hopping on the call. Listen, John has an email from me. He knows that he's expecting my phone call. Really appreciate it if you can just put me through. Thanks for putting me through, Becky." If you thank her for putting you through, then she's going to go, okay, boom, and she'll put you through. 60 to 70% of the time, you'll get through the gatekeeper with that approach. "Hey, Becky, thanks for picking up the call. I really appreciate that. By the way, I just shot an email to John. He knows that I'm calling. If you can just put me through, that'd be great. Thanks for putting me through, Becky. Really appreciate it." And then Becky's just going to go, boop, put you through. 60, 70% of the time, you're going to get straight past the gatekeeper if you thank them for putting you through. Because you need to act like you know John or Bob or Sue or Mary. You need to act like you know them. If you act like you know them, they'll just put you through. It's really cool. So now you get John on the phone. So, "Hey, John, look, I just want to touch base just to make sure you got an email that I sent you. Have you had the opportunity to see the email that I showed you the other day, a moment ago?" "No, I haven't seen it." "Oh, great. So look, if you can give me 60 seconds, I know you don't know me for a bar of soap, but if you can give me 60 seconds, you can decide whether or not we continue that conversation. Is that fair enough?" And then Bob's going to go, "Great. Yes. Great. This is why I sent you the email." Then you go into your 60 seconds. And then if it's something of interest to you, what's the next step? It's really simple. Easiest script on the planet, right? To get that conversation going. So Stephen, the guy that I shared this with, we crafted the email set and did the script. He said, nobody ever says that they read the email. He stopped sending emails. And then he said, "Hey, look, I shot an email to you. I don't know if you got the email, but if you can give me 60 seconds, you can let me know whether or not we should continue this conversation. Fair enough?" And then say, "No, I haven't got the email. Can you send that email?" "Oh, great. I'll send it to you while I'm here." Boom. "By the way, this is what it was about. Is it something that would be useful to you? Yes or no?" So he stopped sending emails because every person he spoke to never got the email. "I never saw it. I haven't seen it." Right? Great. Let me tell you what it's about. So it's one of the easiest ways that he was able to generate tons and tons of appointments by going direct. So I love the direct approach. If I've got nothing to do in my life and I've got some time, I oftentimes pick up the phone and say, "Hey, how you doing? Just want to touch base. Is this something that will be helpful or useful? If it isn't, I understand. By the way, what I'm doing is I'm sharing ideas, tactics, and strategies for businesses like you in the marketplace. Is it okay from time to time I give you some of the best stuff that's going on in the competitors that are working? Would you like to receive some of those tactical things or at least some of those ideas that are having improvement in the market? Can I put you on that list?" And they'll go, "Yes." Right, so now you've got a prospect nurture list just by doing that, right? Easiest way to get people to say yes to you is to give them something of value and relevant to them. And they're going to, just to get you off the phone, they're going to say yes, right? So Bruce Graybo said, what should be in the email, right? What should be in the email, Bruce, is what you do to help people and how they can get the most benefit out of what you do to help people. That's what needs to be in the email. So if you help people with websites that convert, then you need to say, "Hey, one of the things that we do know is people really don't understand how they can generate more sales from their current websites," right? So what we do is we specialize in helping customers who find your site to actually make purchasing decisions. If that's something that might be useful, of interest to you, I'd love to be able to touch base with you. There's an email if you're selling websites, right? So what goes on in an email, it has to be relevant to them. Right now, everybody's panicking. Cash flow. How are you gonna save people money, and how are you gonna make people money right now? Think about where they're at. They're preserving cash, right? So if you're preserving cash, there are two things that you need to do in the world. One, you need to get cash from your existing clients. And number two, you need to get cash from new clients. And number three, you need to keep your business doors open, and you need to let people know that you're open. So how do they find you? So right now, there are three big questions as a business owner that you need to be asking yourself. Is how do I keep my current customers staying and paying? How am I engaging people that know who I am to come and buy and pay with what we have to offer? How am I letting the market know right now that I'm open for business and that we're doing business differently? If these are the three things that you need to be focusing on right now, and I know these are the biggest challenges in time, I've got plans and strategies that I'm working with business right now that are applying principles to help those three factors. Keep the cash rolling in your business, keep your customers buying off you, make sure that you're generating revenue from revenue opportunities you already have in your business, and also, more importantly, letting the community know in your local market that you are still open for business. So if you'd like to talk to me about some of the plans we're delivering to our clients right now to help in this time of craziness so that you can take advantage of the mini boom that's coming, then I'd love to have that conversation with you, right? I'm going to call you in a couple of days' time. We're going to call you later this afternoon just to touch base to make sure you got this email. So now you're letting them know that you called and the person is going to accept that phone call. So that was at the 1 hour and 13 minute mark. I've literally given an email to all of you. That prospecting email I just gave to all of you, right? In your experience, does the time of day that you send out cold emails to prospects matter at all? No, any time of day. Send them at 4 o'clock in the morning. It shows people you're up at 4 a.m. in the morning, right? If you really want to get down to it, I would send my emails after 10 a.m. in the morning, because what we do when we get on the calls with emails is we get on a phone call and we sit there and we get on our emails and we play the delete game, right? So we open our emails, delete, 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 right? And they're out. In fact, what I do is I go all, and then I scan which ones I'm going to keep, and then everything else dumps. I get about 400 emails a day. So in fact, I actually don't do that. I have my team do that for me. So they go and select, and they can scan through all my emails, and they go, these are the ones that John needs to pay attention to, that we'll take care of. What can they take care of? What do I need to pay attention to? And like 400 and out of the 400 emails a day, there might be 4 or 5 emails are important. 4 or 5 out of the 400. So the rest get archived. Yeah. That's why they wrap you up. I do open people's emails if the email is relevant. My team is trained to look for things that are very relevant. We buy lots of stuff. I've spent heaps of money. In fact, I hired a new coach yesterday. I hired a great coach yesterday. Somebody I've been wanting to hire for ages. So yeah, I'm spending a ton of money at the moment. I'm hiring like crazy. We're hiring people like crazy in our business. Michael says there's $1 million at the 1 minute 14 mark of this recording. Miguel, so any other questions? I'm here to help you. Like right now, I'm here. I will answer some questions. I'll probably stick around for another 14 minutes. So if you want me to help you personally, there's a whole bunch of people here. Let me just, I really appreciate you guys being here, hanging out here. But if you've got a question that you'd like me to help you, know who I am, know what I can do, know that I can give you the answers you're looking for to help you take the next step. So if you want to ask me a question and you want me to coach you right now live, I'm actually recording this so that you can go back, get the recording and rewatch this and apply what I'm going to share with you. So if you have a direct question that you'd like to ask me that will help you, let me help you right now. I cannot make it more plainer and easier. I am very expensive to hire, right? You are going to get advice right now. Any suggestions on for putting together a case study? Yes. First of all, the case study. So there's a couple of ways to do this. One, the best case study you can do is interview your client. The best case study you can do is interview your client. If you've got a great result with a client, what you want to do is you want to interview your client, right? And if you interview, you've got it on video. And then what you do is you share, you can do excerpts where they say, yeah, before we started with you, we were kind of struggling and now we're just crushing it. So Brian, one of my consultant champions, had a client that had a 10-to-1 return on an ad campaign. They spent $3,000 for advertising and they generated $35,000 in revenue from a $3,000 ad spend. And sat and said, we've never had a 10x return on our advertising. This was the most amazing thing. And it just keeps happening over and over again when we work with you, Brian. And so he's captured that on video, right? And then he's transcribed it. And then he's posted that on his Facebook group, posted it on his LinkedIn page, posted it on, he's syndicated that information. So that people see that he's getting results. We share results of our clients all the time, right? Because they're willing to share those results, yeah? So to get a case study or to get a case study together, the best way to get a case study is interview your client in the result you deliver. Now, to create a case study, you have to get a result. You have to get a positive result for your client. You have to demonstrate it. Snapshot of accounts, snapshot of bank accounts and money coming in, snapshots of strategy, the result, you know, the figures, the stats, the analytics, right? That's how you build a case study, because that's showing evidentiary proof of what's going on, right? You know, if I look at, if I hit the next slide, this is evidentiary proof that here, right here on these trainings that I've been doing every day, we had Kristen here close an $8,000 deal setup fee, $6,000 a month for 12 months for a mid CPA for Google ads and Facebook ads. She posted that at 9 a.m. the other day. Tanya, who's been on these calls every single day, closed one of her proposals for a small website job for $2,500. This is a direct result of sharing the result. So you can do those sorts of things in the marketplace. So what are the best marketing actions if you are new in a particular market location? So Bruce, I'm going to answer this question two ways, right? First of all, if you're new, you need to use your current experience or past experiences. If you understand and have knowledge of markets already that you've worked with, I would go to those markets. If you are starting in a new market, you're starting from scratch, you have to go and talk to people. You have to find out what the problems are. You have to do your research. You have to engage. You have to think what's going on in the market. How does a customer buy their product or service? All those things, you've got to think all those things. Then you're going to think, okay, what am I doing that create an impact for that market? So one of my friends, Anthony, the way he opens up to a new market is he'll go to a client and say, how many leads do you want? And they'll say, we want 100 leads, right? And then he'll ask them questions. How much money do you want to spend on those leads, right? How much money per lead do you want to spend on those leads? And they'll say $30 or $50. So great. So 100 leads, right? For $50, that's $5,000. Pay me $5,000, I'll guarantee you 100 leads. So then he goes away and runs ads to generate leads for the business, and he tries to run the ads for less than $50, right? He tries to get those ad results anywhere between 10 or below 10 and $30. So he gives $20 out of every deal, out of every lead from the client. And so the client is investing in the lead pack. The client is really buying or paying per lead, basically. So great, you want 100 leads? It's 100 leads at $50 a lead. That's $5,000. $5,000, I'll deliver you 100 leads guaranteed in the next 30 days, right? Goes and deliver leads. Now, if he successfully does that for the client, now he can go to the rest of the market and say, hey, I can deliver leads. I can get you $50 leads, right? Knowing that he's paying $8 or $10 for the lead, he makes $40 out of every lead, right? He can go to the rest of the market and say, hey, I already proved that I can do this. We're getting leads at $50 a shot. You want high quality leads. If your average sale is $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, to get your 5 sales back, we've only got to convert 5 of those 100 leads that we give you. Now, surely based on your conversion rate of probably 20%, 30%, you're going to close 15, 20 deals, right? Out of those deals. And that's a no-brainer, right? So that's how you would go into if you go into a new market, you've got to do your homework on the market. What I would do if I was going to a new market, so Bruce, just to answer your question, I would look at all my competition that is serving that market. So all my competitors in the market that is serving a market that I want to go to, that's the first thing I do is I go and research all those people that are in the market first selling what I sell. I want to find out how much they sell it for. I want to call all the competition and say, how do you help clients in this market, right? So I call them and find out. Then I'll find what their price points are. I'll see who's buying the product that they're selling. So it shows you the niches that are buying. And then I would create my own product and not compete with them in the market. So what I would do is I would say, hey, well, where can I go? Can I hit the middle ground? Can I take a premium angle? Can I take a volume play? Pick where you want to be, right? Look at the service you provide. Look at the service they provide. Can you provide an additional value proposition, right? Or can you get more succinct and drill down into one core aspect? That's what I would do, right? Yeah. But Bruce, mate, you've been in business for a while. You've been in business for a long time, right? You know this shit. You know, I don't know why you're not a fucking millionaire, mate, right? Because right now, everything I've just shared, you know, right? Trying to scratch out for a new market, go back to the markets that already spent money with you, Bruce, and you'll make money. Go back to the markets that have already spent money with you, Bruce, and you will make money, right? That's what you need to do today. Howard, researching accountants for the virtual roundtable. See many are getting calls for stimulus advice. Was thinking of offering lead gen service apart from meeting. Should they offer this as a one-on-one session, free or paid, or webinar to get potential clients? So Howard, that's really obscure. There's a couple of points there that I'm missing. If you have a microphone, Howard, just type yes. If you got a microphone, just type yes. If you've got a microphone, Howard, yes. All right. So where are you, Howard? I'm going to find you here somewhere. Howard. Okay. Hey there, Howard. You there? Hello. Can you hear me, Howard?
Yes, I am here. How you doing, John?
Awesome. Good to have you here on the call. So if you're going to the accountants market, because you're talking about two very different things here. If you're
Yes.
going to do the idea that we shared yesterday, where you get them in a group call talking about ideas on how they can maximize their opportunity in their firms and do that, that's the value added strategy to generate appointments.
Right.
Are you talking about the offer that they're making to their clients?
Yes, I noticed. I've been speaking to a couple of friends that are in accountants, and they're getting a lot of calls from their clients about stimulus advice. And I thought that might be a good offer to make as far as helping put together like a webinar or something where they can lead gen off of the situation, stimulus advice.
Yeah, the problem with putting on a webinar, there's friction. If they've got to learn how to do webinars and how to deliver and all that sort of stuff, like you know the technology, but they don't know the technology. So the thing that's going to create friction here is they've got to figure out, you mean I'm going to be live on camera? Now, most accountants that I know are not very good live on camera, right? Most accountants are boring. Most accountants, and please, if you're an accountant, don't take this personally, but most accountants that I know are boring as batshit. So nobody's going to want to hop on a webinar with an accountant who's boring as batshit, right?
Yeah.
So selling the webinar offer, you're going to create friction in the fact that they're unsure, they've never done this before, they're going to get caught up in the tech, all that bullshit is going to happen. So that's not a great offer to go to them with. What is a great offer is right now you've got an opportunity. You may or may not be getting phone calls, but at the end of the day, you want to be able to help your clients in this time to generate their stimulus package, and your clients and prospective customers, if you haven't done so already, are desperately needing your help right now. And so this means that there's going to be a huge injection of revenue opportunities that perhaps you're not taking advantage of. I'd love to be able to have that conversation of some things that you should be doing. One, to generate cash flow for your accounting practice right now with people who are desperately looking to find out how they can take advantage of those stimulus packages. Right?
So doing an email blast to their
email and follow up. And when you say blast, don't do a blast. Just send out 10 or 15 a day and then pick up the phone and say, hey, what are you doing with this? Right now, our idea is to help accountants leverage this model. Then you can talk, then in that conversation, you say, look, there's a couple of ways you can do this. One, we can actually craft a message, make it relevant, make it easy for people to book time in your calendar for your advice and for the preparation they need to take advantage of the stimulus package. Number two, I can talk to you about a leverage play on how you can get all your clients in one place, solve their problem, and then open the door to helping your clients so that you're adding significant revenue on a group basis. Then you can talk about the possibility of what a webinar looks like, right? The other thing is if you're interested in doing this, then you can help them do that, right? I'm going to prepare you, I'm going to walk through the process, I'm going to pay you for that service. At the end of the day, how much revenue do you need to generate to cover the cost of this? So that's the way I would approach it, Howard, with accountants.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Great.
And
Thank
the other
you.
thing, be very careful about offering too many things. Go in with one idea, and then you can always expand when you ask questions. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
Go in with one offer and expand. Right now, I guarantee you, because accountants are not proactive at all. They're not proactive. And not all their clients are calling them right now. If they look at their roster of businesses or the portfolio of businesses they have, I'll guarantee you not all their clients are calling them saying, hey, how can you help us, right? They're probably getting some calls, but they're not getting all the calls. And the reason they're not getting all the calls is most people don't know that the accountant can help them. Most businesses don't know that their accountant can help them with getting access to the stimulus package. They don't know.
Yeah.
Right? But they are the very person that you need to be speaking to right now to take advantage of the stimulus package.
It's also, they're also busy with tax returns and whatnot. So,
Well, they're not
you
going
know,
to be they're not going to be sending those through. The government just said, "Hey, we're going to give you moratorium for the next 6 months, not to send in your tax returns."
yeah.
So yes, I've just gone through tax preparation for our business in the US, and through the time. But hey, right now this is something that's really relevant and pertinent. I would have, who is your stimulus package coronavirus expert in your firm that should have appointments up the wazoo and adding thousands of dollars worth of fees to your practice right now? Right?
How much should they be charging for advice for that?
Well, it depends on the preparation. It depends on it depends on the complexity and the preparation. It could be, for some people, it might cost them $2,000 or $3,000.
No, it's not that complicated. I filled it out for my company. It's pretty.
Yeah.
It's 10
Oh,
minutes.
if you look at the basic stuff, well, they're going to bill their hourly rate. But if they're looking at complexity, but here's the thing: what does this conversation open up more to? Does it not open up the conversation of business planning, restructuring your company? Does it not open those conversations up?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this opportunity to help people to get access to the stimulus package is also an opportunity for them to talk to their clients about some of the things that their clients need to be considering, other than just stimulus, right? Not every business in the world is going under right now, Hal.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm talking to a lot of businesses that are freaking flying. There's lots of businesses I'm talking to sitting and going, "What do we do?" Because we know it's going to happen for us. This is the time. It's really weird. I know I've had some disastrous conversations. Like I've had some horrible, very sad conversations with business owners who, are literally going to lose everything. They've literally shut down right now. They've laid off a whole bunch of people. They just don't know where they're going. They don't know what they're doing. And they're not even thinking about all the options that are available to them because they've taken this panic. I'm hearing those stories out there, but I'm also hearing a lot of the conversations I'm having are with businesses saying, "Look, I know the shit is hitting the fan right now, right? However, I know there are opportunities before this happened that we did not take advantage of. We know that if we now look at those things now, we can do better, we can make better. In fact, this is going to have a huge impact moving forward in our business." So there are lots of people in that conversation mode looking for plans, they're looking for assurance, they're looking for certainty, right? There's a lot of that going on right now. So accountants are very important. In fact, accountants' businesses are going to blow up. They're the ones that need to let the community know that they can help and that they're open. They're the people that are going to keep keep their clients' businesses open in a lot of ways. So that's a huge market. It's a massive niche on so many different levels. Their services are going to be high demand. Tax accountants, right? Nobody cares. You have to do that. You have to do that, right? But where your opportunity right now as an accountant is in advisory. That's where the big money is.
Is
advisory.
Advisory.
Advising your client. That's where the big cash is. Yeah, because it just opens up to a whole bunch of new range of services.
Is that a specific type of accountant? Is that a searchable LinkedIn kind of thing?
Most accountants. So anybody that does business structure, business planning, asset protection, risk management, auditing, forensic accounting. These are all advisory services.
Yeah. Okay.
So a lot of accountants say they offer this, but a lot of accountants don't specialize in that. And you're looking for multi-partner practices. You're not looking for single partner practices. You're looking for practices that got 5 or more partners in there, right?
Right.
50 or so staff. They're the practices that can actually afford to do something because they've got resources where they can pull those people in those areas. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, usually entity structuring is a attorney thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah,
asset protection and risk management is an accounting thing.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
All righty, great. I got a good handle on that. Thank you.
Thanks. We got Blamar. Good to have you here, man. Always, every day. Good to see you here. Aside from Google, what do you use when researching niches for email outreach? LinkedIn, association websites, trade show PDFs, looking, we've even built lists manually, right? We've even built lists manually. Generally, if I'm going to do building lists, I just hire a list builder. I go and I'll hire somebody off Upwork and say, listen, either you've got a list right now that you've scraped, or scraping, you're out there looking for, generating leads. What are you going to charge? How many emails can you get? What do you charge for 100 emails? Now, I know I'm paying anywhere between $35 to $70 for 100 emails. And I'm probably going to get about a 70% hit rate. Probably 30% of the emails are going to be crap and 70% of them are going to be good. So if I'm paying $1 an email, that's a bargain, because out of 70 emails, I'll close 5 deals. 5 deals to me in our business is $300,000 worth of revenue. So $70 to make 300 grand, I think that's a good return on investment. Hunter.io is really cool. I like AnyLeads, ANYLEADS.com. AnyLeads.com is very good. Yep. So somebody said, Terry, to do the paper PPP program, I don't know what a PPP program is or if it's a PPC program, if that's what you're talking, they can charge $25. I know people that are charging $30,000 for doing management on AdWords campaigns. I have a friend of mine who's a bit of a legend, who's very well recognized in the marketplace, Mike Rhodes. He's got clients that are paying him 50 grand for management fees in AdWords. So yes, there are big numbers. Association Trade Show Research has borne some fruit as well. Absolutely. Yeah, I just hire somebody. If I want to get lead emails, I just hire somebody. I don't want to waste my own time getting leads. That's ridiculous. Payroll protection program. Yes, payroll protection program. Yep. I'm not sure what the relevance of that is, Terry, but I'm sure that is relevant to somebody here. That might have been a message to Howard. Any questions? I'll take one more question. Otherwise, I'm going to say thank you for being here, and I will see you same time, same bat channel tomorrow. Any question? Any question? Miguel. So here's a bit of a broad question. Wow, we love broad questions. What are some of the best books, business or not, that have made the biggest impact in your life or career? Which is a great question to ask. So Miguel, there was a book that was given to me when I was 17. A guy called Grant James, a friend of mine, gave me this book when I was 17 years old. Now, when I was in high school, back in high school, I was all about sports, academia. I've got one of these memories where I didn't need to study. I was one of these people that made other people sick, that I didn't need to study my books. I could just pass exams quite easily. If I applied myself, I did really well. If I didn't apply myself, I still did really well. So I was one of these lucky people when it came to my academics, but I did a lot of sports stuff. So I was more into sports than I was into my schooling. But as a friend of mine, when I was 17, just coming out of high school, getting into college, he gave me a book that this type of book is a book that I never would have picked up and I never would have read. But I've referenced this many times. But it's a book that kind of changed my life and kind of got me into things. So the number one book that I believe everybody should read is a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Now, there is a revised edition, How to Win Friends and Influence People in a Digital World. That book was written back in the 1920s. Dale Carnegie was an orator, an inspirational, a motivational writer and speaker who'd written several books. He created one of the biggest training companies in the world that trained people on sales, mindset, leadership, management. The Carnegie Institute is still alive today. It's a name that is very well. But that book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, was probably one of my favorite books. In fact, I picked it up the other day. I've given hundreds and hundreds of copies of that book away to people as a gift, because it was given to me as a gift and it changed my life. And it's really weird. I'm thinking about Grant, and I hope he's still in the world. I've lost contact with Grant, but there's a guy called Grant James. He also gave me another book by Maxwell Maltz called The Magic of Thinking Big, which is a fantastic book. Not a very long book, but there's lots of great ideas. The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale is a great one. One of my favorites. These are oldies. Anything by Nightingale Conan, Earl Nightingale. These are oldies. One of my favorite sales books ever was a guy called Og Mandino. He used to write these little books, O.G. Mandino. You can look him up on Google. He wrote a book called The Greatest Miracle on Earth. It's a story about his life, but it's a really short story. But it shows you what happens when you change your mind. He was at total rock bottom, wanted to end his life. And in one moment, he came to a realization. I'm getting chills just even describing this to you. He came to this realization of the fact that we as people are the greatest miracle on earth. Our capability, our understanding, our ability to care, to love, to innovate, to create, to grow is unsurpassed by anything that we experience outwardly on this planet, right? And so his book, The Greatest Miracle on Earth, is a great book. Og Mandino, O-G Mandino, M-A-N-D-I-N-O. Somebody wrote here, Psycho-Cybernetics is a classic. Yes, it is. Psycho-Cybernetics is great. The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino. Yes, that's a great book. The Greatest Miracle in the World. Yes, it's the greatest miracle in the world. James, sorry, that's the one. Anything by Joe Girard, I would pick up. Anything by Tom Hopkins. Tom Hopkins, How to Master the Art of Selling. The first 4 chapters of that book created a $30 million company for me. We built a $30 million company out of the first 4 chapters out of How to Master the Art of Selling by Tom Hopkins. He's probably one of the best sales trainers ever on the planet, and that book is probably one of the best sales books ever written. Anything by Jeffrey Gittermore on sales, always good. Zig Ziglar, I had the good pleasure in my life of meeting Zig Ziglar personally a couple of times. He's probably one of the most extraordinary people and generous people that I've ever come across. Anything by a guy called Charlie Tremendous Jones. He's a great orator. In fact, I met his daughter a couple of months back. But his works are awesome. I know these are some of the oldies, but I've got to tell you, they're probably some of the best books that have ever been written. My favorite business book of all time is from my mentor, Jay Abraham. He wrote a book called How to Get Everything You Want Out of Everything You've Got. It is one of the best marketing books that have ever been written. I would highly recommend that you read that from a business point of view. It will help every single person here on this call. But these are some of the things. I'm always reading new stuff and coming across new things. And funnily speaking about books, a friend of mine just forwarded me his new book that he launched in the accounting space, and it's a great book. But those are a few ideas. Yes, Jay has a brand new course out right now. In fact, Jay is giving all his stuff out for free, by the way. If you go to abraham.com/50 shades, abraham.com/50 shades, you can download all these books that he's got. The resources in that on that website, incredible. You don't have to buy anything from Jay. You get all this stuff for free. So with that, I want to thank you for being here. If you can, please make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you haven't already, go to consultingunleashed.com/go, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go and jump on, if you're not in the Consulting Unleashed business group, the Facebook group, make sure you jump on it. You can go and get the link from that page there if you go to consultingunleashed.com/go. If you are in business and you have clients that you are managing right now and you want me to help you to make sure you retain those clients, to make sure that you're actually exercising or maximizing your opportunity to drive new client opportunities in your business, you can take some of my time. My calendar is on that page. I'm going to be here, same channel, same time tomorrow. We're going to be talking about some new ideas, new tactics. Be safe. Please reach out to one friend today. Message a friend and say, hey, how you going? Connect with them, make a time, get on the phone and speak to one person and let them know that you at least care. And more importantly, it'd be great to have a positive conversation with a friend. So with that, I want to thank you all for being here. I will see you on tomorrow's call. It is the same time, 3 p.m. LA time, 8 a.m. Sydney Eastern Standard Time. Take care, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. This video, this replay will be placed onto the YouTube channel and also into the Consulting Unleashed Facebook group. Thanks for being here, everybody. Take care.